record অনেক কৰা নাছিলোঁ মই audio. Hey guys, what's up? It's me Adit from Enchanted Studios. So basically I just watched Jawan starring Shah Rukh Khan, Deepika Padukone, and let me tell you it is one of the best Bollywood action movies that I have ever watched. First of all, there is actually a lot to process because I just watched it right now a few minutes back. Usually we need some time to sort of think and rethink and sort of analyze what just went, because it was I think 2.5 or 3 hour movie. First of all, if you have watched the trailer reaction, which I did, the movie is 100 times better than the trailer. 100 times. If people are going to watch the movie based on the trailer, then they're going to really like it so much more. The action is next level. I have not watched any action movie in Bollywood, in Indian film, which is this good. I'm not just talking about people flying around and all that type of action. It is very realistic, the action scenes. Cinematography, choreography, action choreography it's just top notch. So I made a few points and I just like to start first of all. Okay guys, before we continue, this is actually a spoiler review. So if you guys have not watched the movie, I don't think so you should watch this video. First go watch the movie, then come back and yeah. Let me start by saying I have watched one of the best opening sequence in a Bollywood film, full of action. How to best put this? It was not something which I expected. It was that good. It starts with a very good action scene where, if you guys have watched Shah Rukh, he's found half dead in the middle of some border of India, I think so, and a few people from that particular place, some sort of tribal people, I believe, they sort of find them and find Shah Rukh, and they rescue Shah Rukh. They save his life. What happens is that they use some sort of ancient or maybe their traditional practices to save him. After a few days, the village people, they are being attacked from some, I think what the movie was trying to show was maybe Chinese troops or something that were attacking the border. The village was in the border, so the village was being attacked. What happens is that just about when all the people are about to be dead in the village, Shah Rukh rises up like a messiah, like a prophet, and starts saving everybody. So that's how the film begins. As I was watching the trailer, I sort of was very confused because there is so much of different versions of Shah Rukh Khan, and I was sort of wondering what are they trying to show, and it all makes sense. It's not in a very bad way, in a very good way. In fact, it makes sense. And I was right about one thing though, that Surya Vansham type thing where Bap is also Amitabh Bachchan, Son is also Amitabh Bachchan, same way Bap is also Shah Rukh Khan, Son is also Shah Rukh Khan, and which doesn't look odd nowadays, when especially after Saif Ali Khan's son, when I saw that he looks exactly like Shah Rukh Khan, exactly like Saif Ali Khan, his son, I think Ibrahim Ali Khan, so it doesn't look odd anymore. So what happens is basically there are two Shah Rukh Khans in this film. One is the father, one is the son. The Shah Rukh that we see at the start of the movie is the father Shah Rukh Khan. He was a Jawan, basically an army, and he was sort of at first I was thinking would it be something like he was being betrayed by his country or something like that, but no. What happens is there was a situation where they were doing an operation, and in that operation all of their weapons sort of stopped working, and due to which a lot of Indian soldiers' lives were lost. And due to that he sort of protested, and he was like Shah Rukh, being the member of the army and also being the member of I think he was a part of special operations officer or something like that, where they do special missions. He sort of protested the weapon manufacturing company, and the villain is basically the person who provides weapons to the military, right? So that's when they first meet up. And what happens is that basically, because all the lives were lost, Shah Rukh gets so pissed off that because of the weapon manufacturer company's fault, it could have been prevented. The lives that were lost could have been prevented. So he was like, we need to change the way that they are. Either we need to change the people from where we are buying or something like that. He protested. So it seems this guy, this villain, who is sort of pissed off because he has got this big business and it's going to get hampered now because they were on the faulty side. So what he does is that he tries to kill Shah Rukh Khan and Deepika, which brings me to the Deepika Padukone point. In the trailer, I thought Deepika Padukone they're using her just for the item song or something, but Deepika plays much bigger role than what we see in the trailer. So, and there is just something about Deepika Padukone and Shah Rukh Khan. The other actress, what's her name? I forgot. Nayanthara. At first, even they were trying to show some scenes with Nayanthara. But then later I came to know that it was never about Nayanthara and Shah Rukh Khan. It was more about the father Shah Rukh Khan and his wife Deepika Padukone. So Deepika Padukone gives birth to son Shah Rukh Khan, and what happens is that this villain, he tries to sort of phasao Shah Rukh Khan that he is a Gaddari by making him phasao for corruption and stuff like that. Phasao as in phasane ke liye koshish, phasaya gaya hai. And also they frame him for corruption and all. And in the framing process, what happens is that when this villain goes to Shah Rukh Khan's home to kill Shah Rukh Khan and his wife, Shah Rukh Khan's wife Deepika Padukone kills some of the corrupted police officers. So after that, the government sort of catches them, the lawmakers catches her, and after they're being framed, they're being put to jail. Deepika is being put to jail, and Shah Rukh was taken by this villain, and what seems like he was killed, but he was not killed. And that is the scene of the starting scene where it's like, so basically what happens is the villain tries to kill Shah Rukh, but he fails. And Deepika sort of is sentenced to death, and she's put to this Mahila jail. So what happens is, just when she's about to be hanged, it seems she's pregnant. I came to know today that you cannot be hanged if you are pregnant while you're pregnant. So I learned something new today. Basically for 5 years she cannot be hanged. Her death sentence is postponed till her son reaches the age of 5. So basically, the son Shah Rukh Khan, Azad, he grows up in the women's jail by all the women and stuff like that. So when he grows up, he comes to know about his mom's story, his father's story, and from a very young age he understands the injustice things that happens to people in the world. When he grows up, he sorts of want to take revenge, but in a very good way. So the film sort of gives this Aparichit. It's not a good comparison, but you get my point if you have watched the movie. Aparichit sort of Shah Rukh wants to make a statement. It's something like that. The hero wants to make a statement. So what he does is that he starts doing this Robin Hood sort of activities later. So what Shah Rukh does is, when he grows up, he becomes the jail's officer. I think so. I just missed out a little bit. He meets similar people in the jail who was put to jail for wrongdoings from the government and stuff like that. So they make a lot of plans to sort of take revenge from the ministers and so-called big of corrupted officers, and they do it in a very fun way where it's a revenge story, but it's like the ministers and all, they deserved it. It feels good when they serve justice. Coming back to the scene of Shah Rukh Khan and Nayanthara, their Jodi is their love story development was very lame in the movie, but I think I know why. It's because later on it's more of about the father Shah Rukh Khan and Deepika Padukone. That is the reason. At first I was thinking why everything else in the movie is so good, why did they develop Shah Rukh Khan and Nayanthara's scene in such a lame way? But then later I realized that it was more about Shah Rukh Khan and Deepika Padukone. The plot does not really go the way you think it will go. You might take a few good guesses, but the plot is really different. I believe you won't be able to get it. For those who have not watched, it's going to keep you guessing. There are few twists in the movie. For example, from nowhere, Sanjay Dutt later comes out, and it seems like, he was part of the plan all along. The few things basically that I want to bring out in this review is that I have never watched any movie from the director Atlee. So hats off to Atlee for directing a movie like this. The story was good. I give the story 7 out of 10. But the actions are so good that if not for anything, you must go and watch it for action. I give the action 9.5 out of 10. Personally, I like this sort of action. When you go and watch the movie, you will come to know what I mean by this. It's not too unrealistic. It's a very good combination of, and I like the way it gives this Zack Snyder sort of vibe. If you have watched 300, it's slow-mo and fast motion. Slow-mo, fast motion. It's a mix between these two. It feels really good. The cinematography, the action choreography is done so good. I know you might hate me for saying this, but this is a much better movie than Pathaan. I have watched Pathaan. I don't know if Pathaan got the, Pathaan definitely got more hype than Jawan, I feel, because Pathaan came out earlier and that was like after a big break, and now this movie came out after Pathaan. This movie is just much better. Like, call it action sequence, call it story, call it the chemistry between characters and all. It's just much better. And don't get mad at me because I'm not comparing Shah Rukh Khan with any other other actors or something. I'm comparing Shah Rukh Khan with his own work. So yeah, definitely much better experience than Pathaan. Yeah, you should just go and watch this movie. If you like action movies, if you like Hollywood action movies, you are going to love this movie. One thing that I want to point out is that the movie focuses on this farmer suicide thing a lot, in a very not obvious way. At the same time, they try to give some sort of message where it's like, hey, all this government ke wajah se, because of some corruption and so many things, a lot of people are so deprived, and because of that, lots of farmers, poor people, it's about a lot of injustice that's happening. So they start the movie on that base note ki corruption hai वगैरह वगैरह, due to which so many people suffer, and ending mein, this is the best scene of the movie, I believe, where an election is next year, right? So it makes perfect sense. It's like Shah Rukh Khan really wanted to do this personally, where he talks about why, basically it's the film's climax, why, when he says ki why they're doing what they're doing, right? And we as an audience, we sort of figure out why they're doing what they're doing, but then I like to make it more obvious. Shah Rukh gives a speech at last where he's like, we Indian people, what we do is that whenever we are trying to go and buy something from the bazaar or market, we are asking 1,000 questions on that product, right? For example, let's say we are buying a cloth and we are like, no, itna hi rupe denge. We negotiate a lot. We are like, ye to acha quality ka nahi hai, ye quality ka hai. So what he says is that if chota mota things ke liye we can make that much comparisons and stuff like that, why not do it with your politicians too, with your elections too? It's like, question the people who has the power to change your future, right? When we elect all these ministers and all, we sort of give them the power to shape our futures also in some ways. So he's like, अच्छा से सोचो, सोच समझ के vote करो, question your politicians, don't just vote like a blind person. So that message which he gives at last is very powerful. Like I said about the timing, it's like he really wanted to. The big elections are coming up next year. It's like when we were sitting in the hall, the scene was like how I am talking to you right now directly. That scene was like that, ki Shah Rukh is directly talking not just in the movie but to the audience also. Don't just vote properly. And it's a very powerful message, and I hats off to Shah Rukh Khan for that. Hats off to the writers for that. The villain is not like one of those macho badass people or something like that. It was one of the most impressive characters that I have ever seen. I have never watched any of his movies prior to this movie Jawan, but he seems quite menacing every time when he doesn't do anything menacing. He literally does not do anything in the movie, but whenever he comes, you feel that this guy is scary. This guy is so calm, but he's scary because he seems so calm and relaxed, and it sort of has this mysterious persona that he carries around. I felt more like, I don't know, I was sort of scared what he planned, because whenever he's facing some sort of adversity in the film, some sort of weird situations, he doesn't react to anything. He's like, okay, it's okay. I love the character. I should, what's his name? Vijay Sethupathi. I think he's a really famous guy, isn't it? He's in Vikram. That is why I was thinking, I saw him somewhere. He's in Vikram. I think he's the villain there also. Okay, so I have not watched any of his movies. And Atli Kumar. Let me check what Atli. Atli is a South Indian director or what? I think he's a really young director. Let me tell you something. It does not give you that, when I think about South Indian, it is extremely unrealistic actions, one punch and he flies off the face of the earth or something like that. It is not like that. It is very much inspired from top-notch Hollywood action movies, and it is really that good. It is extremely that good. The comedy on this movie was quite good. I can see some meme materials coming from this movie. There is this scene in the last ending fight where Shah Rukh. So basically, one thing I forgot to mention here is that the father Shah Rukh Khan, it seems, even though he was revived from all his injuries and almost near-death experience, he lost all his memories until the very last scene where the villain was doing something and it triggers all his memories and stuff like that, and he remembers everything. And then the son Shah Rukh and the father Shah Rukh, they hug it off near the villain, and the villain is like, "Wah, kya scene hai bhai? Abhi jaldi se maro nahi to gana shuru ho jayega." It was almost like what we were thinking. It's like, wah, matlab, it's like he almost broke the fourth wall. It was a really fun thing to watch in between all the seriousness. And then there is this very, very cringy scene, where Nayanthara, what she does is that she needs to show that she got injured, and she asked a colleague of her to hit her with something, and then the colleague obviously refuses. So what she does is hits herself in the mirror like that. I'm telling you, that scene is going to be a meme. Just watch out. The movie sort of reminded me, the Jawan is not like that at all, but it reminded me, because of the message, it reminded me of these two movies. One is called A Wednesday and one is Aparichit. If you guys have not watched, please just stop whatever you're doing, go and watch A Wednesday and Aparichit. Both are extremely very good Indian films. They sort of have a similar message, although Jawan's message at the end about elections was the best, about voting was the best. But Wednesday and Aparichit, they show this. I'm not going to spoil those two movies for you, but you should watch it. With that said, guys, I don't want to make this review too long. I have not been reviewing a lot of movies. I really wanted to do it. And one thing I'll admit it right here in the video is that I was being a little more judgy towards Jawan by watching the trailer. I mean, what can I even do? Like, I watched the trailer, I had to say something. But the movie is great. You should go and watch Jawan. And if you have watched Pathan, if you're a Shah Rukh Khan fan,